To locally led voices from the front lines. So basically, we are hosting this session for having the synergy among locally led adaptation, youth and gender inclusion, as well as the capacity building. So here we'll be hearing from distinguished professor, our friend from other countries, and our local led adaptation practitioner in the ground level. So before going to start our session, I'll be just want to introduce all of our speaker in front of you, and to all my audience, thanks for joining us today. So we have our Professor Dr. Mohammad Hafizur Rahman as our speaker. He's a distinguished environmental scientist and academic, currently serving as professor and head of the Department of Environmental Science and Management at the School of Environmental and Life Science, SELS, at Independent University, Bangladesh. And he's also the focal person at the International Center for Climate Change and Development between ICCCAD and IUB. Dr. Rahman earned his PhD from the Institute of Organic and Biomolecular Chemistry, University of Göttingen, Germany, under a prestigious DAAD scholarship, following his MSc and BSc in Applied Chemistry and Chemical Technology from the University of Dhaka. So he is actually representing the academics from the side of local adaptation understanding, as well as how we can do like more into the inclusion of youth and gender perspective, and also on the capacity building side. Then we have our speaker from our friend country, Nepal, who is Diksha Baral. She is a climate justice activist and the National Network Coordinator of Nepalese Youth for Climate Action. So she's working here for 5 years and working on the climate advocacy, awareness raising efforts. Different kinds of activities are led by her, and she's always working for the communities, for the youth. 2 national climate conferences and a clean air training program have been organized under her leadership, and she was selected as a youth delegate for COP28 and awarded as ISLA program for COI19 and COP29, along with the Asia Solidarity Lab Fellowship 2024. So she also is attached to different kinds of campaigns and also working for the Fossil Fuel Treaty, and grassroots climate action is at the core of her mission. Then we have Mubashir Tahmid from Bangladesh. He's the managing director at Tetra and our innovation grant winner at 2024 ICCCAD Innovation Grant. So Mubashir Tahmid is a climate adaptation strategist and social entrepreneur, co-founder and managing director at Tetra. Tetra is a climate tech enterprise providing solar power desalination in Bangladesh's salinity affected coastal communities. His work centers on women-led micro-entrepreneurship to ensure safe drinking water in climate vulnerable regions. Previously at BRAC, he co-developed climate resilience framework also. And he has he's been named as named a Unleash Global Talent SDG for SDG 6, Expo City, Dubai Global Innovator, and a BRAC Frugal Innovation Fellow for his work on water, gender, and climate resilience. Then we have Preeti Tonchonga. She was also a youth fellow in 2023 cohort in ICCCAD Youth Fellowship Program. And she is an indigenous professional from the Tonchonga community, has expertise in culture preservation, media communication, and community development. With 4 years of experience in leadership, cultural documentaries, and women's empowerment, she's passionate about creating the positive change. As a founder and project director at SAABA, SABA, a local initiative where she promotes indigenous heritage through visual storytelling. Preeti has worked with organizations like UNICEF, ILO, and BRAC, focusing on adolescent nutrition, youth empowerment, and field facilitation. And she is skilled in communication. So welcome all. I think you all can hear me, right? Preeti, Diksho?
Yes.
We can hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. So before going directly to the to the panelists, I just want to flag and share a brief from our side of ICCCAD's activity on the youth fellowship program and youth program. So basically, we do have some of the capacity building program where we do have the fellowship program and also grant program. So most of these panelists from Bangladesh, they are actually were under our fellowship and grant program, and they are like flourishing like really well and doing specifically great in their own sectors. So that's why we are bringing them into this session, as well as Diksho from Nepal, to have that kind of like synergy where we can reflect from the global south, as well as we have our Dr. Hafiz, who can also reflect on from the academic side and how that can be more fruitful on the youth capacity building side. So at first, I want to go to Dr. Hafiz. So, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but unfortunately my camera is not working well. So maybe I can speak, but I can't open the camera at this moment. Thank you, Sumaya.
No problem, sir. It's totally understandable. No problem on that. So if I want to like come to you at first, then as an academic and policy expert, how do you see youth innovation shaping the future of adaptation frameworks, especially as we are talking about local-led adaptation? So how do you see it? How do you find that how these young people will be going on this inclusion of the adaptation frameworks from the ground of local-led adaptation, if you can like reflect on this side.
Thank you, Sumaya again. Of course, the youth innovation is increasingly playing a vital role in reshaping the adaptation frameworks, particularly within the LLA or locally led adaptation model. For example, the youth are very good in tech services, like they can reimagining the LLA through tech-driven local solution. I can give one example. The even the very young people like 6, 7 years, the baby, they are very good in mobile. So of course there are some bad things from the mobile and other things, but if we see the good side, especially we are speaking for the youth, they can do the data these I mean data driven things in a very good way using the AI and other devices. They can do real time monitoring, improving the accountability and transparency. Also, if you see about the intergenerational and inclusive governance, they are very good in it. They can amplify the voices of marginalized groups. They can promote the intergenerational equity, and they can, with these two things, they can strengthen the social contract between governments and citizens on climate justice. And that you can see all over the world it's happening. Also, if I go to the next point, they can create feedback loops between the policy and practice. For example, they can translate global adaptation goals into locally actionable insights. Even if very funny things, they can aware the people through the storytelling. That was not, that didn't happen previously. Like they can mobilize the awareness, advocate the policy shifts. Even they can lead the experimental adaptation labs. So again, if you go to the finance pathways for LLA, they can do the peer-to-peer financing platforms. They can create it. They can do blockchain for transparent tracking of adaptation, and designing micro grant and community-based crowdfunding models. If you see, if you give them a small amount of money, they can produce so many creative ideas that you can't expect from a very experienced people. And if you go to the experienced people, they will give you big plans with big amount of money, but with a very small grant they can go, and they are very fearless persons there. So again, if you go to the institutional disruption and norm shaping, they don't follow the always the normal procedure. They always create the knowledge, and they know how. I mean, mm, of course, they are not always holistic, but you need to be sometimes rough and types. They can challenge the colonial and top down paradigm for the climate adaptation. They can embed the sectionality, decolonial thinking, and they can push the academic and policy institution to rethink the metrics, which is very necessary. Not always, if you want to discover some things, you can't go always in the holistic way, of course. Even with all of the things, I can tell that without the youth, we the we can't think about the future. So they are the future leaders, but they will show us also the even the experienced people the way that we should follow. I think I can stop here.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, the holistic approach that we need at our like whole initiative on the climate crisis tackling and for the adaptation framework too. It's completely understandable from your perspective. Thank you so much, sir. So now we'll be going to Mubashir Bhai. Mubashir Bhai, can you hear us?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. So, like, I don't like want to be like very technical because we want to be in a session in a panel where like we can reflect on or from all of the sector, but the synergy that you created for the inclusion with the innovation, it's like really mind blowing. So, if you can reflect us on that regard of how you like promote the technological base and include the females of that side, like which Tetra has like implemented and implementing in different parts of Bangladesh where water crisis is there. How are you finding it like involving and engaging the women on the from the community in this technological side? If you can like reflect on that.
Thank you, Appa. It's a great question, actually, and that's kind of the core, you know, you touch on one of the core challenges that we solved are in earlier days of Tetra when we started. So first thing is, technology was available. It's not like that we have from Tetra we have invented a novel process or something very new that was non-existent in the scenario. Technology was there, but someone needed to contextualize, localize the technology according to the need of the coastal community of Bangladesh, and that localization part was missing from the scenario. uh, and then we needed to build a model that would engage the community in the operations, because in those communities, if we cannot promote local adaptation, uh, the system is sure to fail, like today or tomorrow. So what we did at the early days, we tried to understand what kind of technology would really work in these communities. And that's why we tried to design small scale pilots. Uh, if you go to field at this moment and see the current version of Tetra's water treatment plants, and then compare it to the early days of our devices, you will find a lot of, like you understand that a lot of evolution actually happened during these processes. So when we started in earlier days, we did small scale pilots. We tried to go to the remotest places and test out our first days of R&D, like first prototypes. And we found a lot of challenges. We solved a lot of early days problems. And then we went back to field again to deploy our version 2, version 3. And at one moment when we were confident that now we are ready to scale that up and really go to market as a market ready product, before that we understood that we need another pilot, and this time we have to do it engaging the community itself. So we started building our team, and we started picking up people from the community uh, who have that faith and who have that belief in the mission. So I'm really grateful to the early, team members of Tetra who are still with us. They were amazing teammates, and really, fortunate for us, the co-founders, to get such a team who equally believes in a mission and gives it all, gives their heart in solving that challenge, that and carry forward that vision that entrepreneurs had that in our early days. So this team of mine, they really did an amazing job to connect the root level communities with our mission. These are hard to reach communities that we are working with, and our team had to travel a lot. Like there are days when they got out the home at like 7 a.m. and got back at 10 p.m. in the office. And to solve connect those communities, it had to be done because these are hard to reach communities and traveling was, non-optional. And there are days when people of our team stayed in the field so that they can start earlier the next days. And at one point, they kind of became like members of that community. And when I visit to field nowadays, I can find that the community members are talking to our teammates like our teammates are one of the members of their communities. Like, in the season of watermelon, like they're calling everyone to their houses to share their watermelon with them or have picnic with them. So this is amazing how our teammates could connect the community members. So when the trust was built, uh, we before going full on the market, we did an final prototyping phase, connecting the community. We established a small scale device and told the community to use them and tell us what are the changes that they want in that device and what are they're finding it difficult, what are the things they like. So based on their user feedback, we did some final changes and then we went onto the field. So our product, you can say that, is co-designed. We Tetra and the users co-designed our product so that the product is perfectly localized, and our team members did an amazing job to build the trust within the community so that they can be part of our operation going forward. So I think these two things were crucial in making Tetra one of the success cases in Costa Rica, Bangladesh.
Thank you so much. Yeah, undoubtedly, because like we have also visited some of your place where you have that like water treatment plant, and we have like also discussed and have that kind of like experience of communicating with the communities and specifically with the women. So yeah, that's like great, and that's how you should like utilize the technology, because if we can if you would gradually can invent and discover some of the like specific better technologies, but that we couldn't like make people understand, then those kind of technologies are not that much fruitful in this kind of like remote area. So it's congratulations to you and the team for working on such a ground level and like creating that kind of like synergy between this technology and the like community. Thank you so much. I'll be getting back to you again. So because we are going in two steps. So now I'll be I want to learn some of the cases from Nepal. Our friend from Nepal. I'll be going to Diksho, and as you are like leading some of the specific Nepalese youth movement on the climate change, so we want to hear from your side of the story and how you are like doing it and how you find maybe some of the story of on the positive note and some of the challenges that from where we can also like can learn from you that how we can overcome those challenges also. Thank you. Over to you, Diksha.
Hi everyone. Hi Sumaya. Thank you so much for the questions. You already introduced me so well, so I will be jumping right straight into the question. So, but also giving a little bit background of about my network. I'm associated with Nepalese Youth for Climate Action, which is a youth-led climate network in Nepal, and I'm voluntarily associated with it, and we have chapters all over the country, 12 different chapters in all 7 provinces, and we are raising awareness, doing the climate advocacy, and also doing the campaigns in the grassroots, and also connecting those campaigns at national levels. So back in 2008, when the talk of climate was very less here in Nepal, few youths started this momentum in Nepal, and this is continuously taking forward. New youths are taking forward, and I got to be a part of it as well. So since a few years, I have been also engaged in this network, and I'm trying to raise awareness here in Nepal. And because when we actually look into the communities, very less people know about the climate change. And so it all starts with the awareness first. So we are also working on climate education and raising awareness. So to explain this, about just a few days ago, I went to Thame Solukhumbu, which is a very rural mountain community which was hit by a climate disaster, glacial lake outburst flood. And the community there is like it has not built back, and the situation is really worse. Like, we can not imagine the pain they are going through, and these kind of issues need to come forward. And we are also trying, NYC is also trying to highlight those issues and take it to the national platforms. And not only these, we are also trying to work very locally, so that the youth at the local are empowered and they can talk about these themselves as well. So uh, because empowering grassroots youth voices requires like continuous process as well, because we have mostly seen it's a one time thing, and like it's like it is not continued. So we are also trying to continuously empower the young people and bring in this climate momentum. So our chapters all over the country, we yearly we do a training for them, and through these trainings they are able to go back and start their own campaign at in regarding their own local issues. Also, we are also trying to create a space for young people where they not only just participate, but also they are capable to lead their own campaign back home. So in this way, we are trying to work with the local youths from very rural places, and those local realities are highlighted into the global policies or in the national policies, because when those local realities actually reflect in those policies only, that's how it works, because policies are for the people, and it should be reflected. So we are also trying to work more on building capacity of people, and more on creating the campaigns that will actually be at a national level, and try and make the changes that we want to see in the future. So in this way, like, we're raising awareness and also building the capacity of youth and working together with the local government and bridging the gap between the local government and the federal level. So thank you. I think I answered that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very inspiring whenever we see like the people from all of the LDC and South Asian countries, though like who are working great and working on the local level and representing themselves in the international level too. It always like creates some kind of like solidarity from our side, and also like we also get inspiration from them. And specifically for the Nepal and South Asian countries, it's very similar on the context of society, on the context of economy. So it's always very familiar to get to learn from like good practices. Thank you so much, Diksha. Now I'll be again moving to one of our Bangladeshi participant, Preeti Tonjonga. So Preeti, can you hear me?
Yes, Shudhapu.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So if you can like reflect some of the points as an indigenous youth leader and storyteller, like how do you see the role of indigenous knowledge in shaping more effective locally led climate adaptation strategies, as well as you might also have some reflection from your experience from as ICCCAD youth fellow. You can reflect on both. Thank you. Over to you, Preeti.
Thank you so much, Shudhapu, for giving me this opportunity. So, my name is Preeti Dongchonga, and I'm from Bandarban. It's a beautiful district of Chittagong Hill Tracts in Bangladesh, and 12 indigenous groups. Home to 12 indigenous group, including mine. And I feel really fortunate to be selected as an ICCCAD Youth Fellow for 2023. And it was 6 month journey and pretty insane. And honestly, it was in good way. And I it wasn't really just lectures and meetings. It was really, we got to go out in the field and meet people, listen to stories. And for me, it opened my eyes in way that I wasn't really prepared for. And before this fellowship, so I mean, I knew climate change was like happening. Everyone talks about it, and but through this experience, I really felt that the what loss and damage means and what adaptation means. And it's not for some big report or numbers, but it's when your lands dries up and when your river disappears, when your climate slowly or quietly it's start to fade away. And in the Chittagong Hill Tracks, from my point of view as an indigenous woman, we are already like feeling it. Water is getting scarce, and illegal logging is like just destroying the forest, and illegal stone extractions is damaging our rivers and the water bodies, and the invasive species like acacia trees and what they call big trees, and they have been everywhere right now and pushing me like pushing out our native plants. And even farming has changed, like monocropping is everywhere, and it's hurting our the soil and the food and like everything. So I realized during this fellowship that um, these are not just like environmental issues, but they're about to uh, identity, that about survival, especially for our indigenous people and women. Also, women are the center of this struggle, and whether anyone can notice or not, I don't know. And and after this fellowship, I tried. I didn't just sit and think about it. I started to work with Saba. Like Saba is like mainly I have really interest in storytelling and like focusing on culture preservation through visual storytelling, and it's been honestly powerful. And I have documented cultural like programs, rituals, and ceremonies from 7 different indigenous groups so far. And every time I feel like I'm collecting like pieces of people's souls and indigenous groups so far, and I was trying to save them and trying to save my people. So I'm really grateful for ICCCAD for believing in me and giving me this first push. And I will try to work for my community. And thank you, Shdapo.
Thank you so much, Preeti, to like pull all of the things together. So, so now, like after hearing all of you, so now I'll be again getting back to Dr. Hafiz. Sir, can you hear me? Are you with us?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect.
I'm enjoying the conversation really.
Thank you so much. So now I would like ask you that like what as you were you were like representing the academic side of our development sector. So how can like what role do universities and research institutions like ICCCAD or IUB or any of the university institutes can play in scaling up youth-led, locally led adaptation initiative? Like what are your thoughts on this side? If you can reflect on that.
Yeah, thank you, Sumaya. Yeah, thanks again. And I was just amazed that you can see that clearly a few results from the university related things like Mubashir, Preeti, or Diksha is here. So whenever we think about the university, always we think people with the big glasses, they will come in the class and they will tell something, and after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or half an hour, you can sleep or you will be bored. This is the normal phenomena for our countries, but we are so lucky that an organization like ICCCAD, or International Center for Climate Change and Development, which was developed by a visionary leader, Professor Salibul Haq. We are so happy and we are so fortunate that a combination of a practitioners field like the ICAD and IUB is together. And that's why we are not confined only in the classrooms. The whole nature is our lab, the whole nature is our classroom, and that's why the education is more, I mean, fun, and we can develop something that we will give some of the examples to you. Like we give training and skills development. Of course, the youth are very energetic. The youth is full of vision, the full of dreams, but they need some supervisions. They need they need some mentorship so that they can be in a good track. Otherwise, that they can just forget the track and they can go in different place from their original goal. And that's why we usually give them training and skills development. The universities offer specialized courses like on locally led adaptation, like capacity building, and also we give more space for the interdisciplinary learning. The classroom is not only a place to just learn from the textbooks, it's a knowledge sharing platform. Even the teachers learn from the students. Not if you challenge them with good questions, they will learn more also. And the teaching is the best learning method also. So this is just a knowledge sharing. So for the locally led adaptation things also, if you learn some, like the LLA has some 8 principles. If you don't know these 8 principles, if you don't know the clearly realize the principles, and if you just go without learning these things through the practical field, you will miss many things. So we also, if you are in one field, suppose Mubashir is an engineer, or I don't know about Diksha, maybe she is from another field. So if you speak together, then the knowledge sharing will make you more efficient and more that you will be more effective in the original field. So if you do some actionable research, when in the university level, if you have some ideas, if you don't know that whether these ideas is applicable to your community or these ideas can be better, of course you need some combination from your mentorship to the applied field. If so, with that things from your university to the local level, if you can go, because the university teachers will not have too much time to go to the community level to work. So if you have good ideas about the community, if you come up with your good ideas, which can be applied to the local level to solve the problems for the community, for your own community, that will be helpful. Then both university and the local level people, they can work and they can find good solutions. Even if you want to know the validity of those things, you need also again to come to the university and you can validate those methods. You can publish those results and you can see that from the process of publishing, your result, your idea will be again refined, and you can put this idea to the global level also. Not only local level, you can be a leader for the international level also, and you can utilize these things. So again, you can see as a youth, as I told you before, that with a seed fund, with a small fund, you can dream a lot. Suppose within you just see, when you are just 7 years, 8 years, if you could get, if $2, $3, you could think, oh, I have got huge amount of money. So you can think about those things. So with this small amount of money, you can dream a lot through these, teenage people, through these youth people. And you can, the university can also give them the infrastructure support. That is also very much necessary for the youth. The networking and partnership, that can the university can be a good hub for the networking and partnership, not only from your working partnership. You can have the chance to have good connections with the policy people, with the scientists, so on through the networkship. You can make the university can help them bridging gaps, and also the global exposure, like the university can help them to attend in the seminar symposium, and that IUB ICAD is always doing. We send the people, even with the CAPRES project, they go to the COP. Even me, I was never been able to attend in the COP, but many of my young colleagues, they attended the COP. And if someone in a very young age they go to the COP, at least even they learn something, but their vision, their dream will be so big, because they will meet with so many experts and diverse people all over the world. So this is very necessary, the university and the youth, and especially for the locally led adaptation. This is urgent, and this is playing a very great role. So I hope I can give some of the flavors that you asked me. Thank you again, Sumaya.
Thank you so much for giving us the idea of how that formal education, university can lead to the formal education, as well as on the informal side of the thing, where we can be more getting more practical knowledge and practice. We can practice how we can evolve in our career. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, sir. So now I'll be again going to Mubashir Bhai. Mubashir Bhai, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. So, I want to know, as Hafiz sir has reflected on some of the things where we can put more, give more input from the university side, on the career side, on our work side, activity side. So, how did you receiving the CAPRES Innovation Grant influence the development or scaling of your solar power desalination solution, as well as for your experience, what are the most important factor, or what will be your guidance or suggestion for the next generation people, or the people who are working on this ground but want to work more or accessing to the front? If you can overall reflect on the whole scenario from your experience.
So when we received the funds, the innovation grant, we had a vision that we will co-develop something that can be, scaled up frugally. That was our main vision. I mean, when we were working with such grants, we had to show, number one, an actionable insight uh, on which we and also other players can build upon, and also, showing evidence that the fund was utilized in a way that's making a life impact. We used the fund for purposes. First of all, we used in our early, field connection in our campaigns to engage the local community with our vision and to inspire them that we are building a solution not only for them but with them as well. So that's why I earlier said that we try to co-design our solution for the community, which we will which we later took out to the field as a market product. So when we are trying to connect those communities with our with our vision, so we had to do a lot of group engagement. We had to do a lot of co-tier sessions. We did community events to connect to us, connect them with our activities and our vision. So a portion of the fund was utilized in those field activities. Uh, and then when we tried to co-design our solution, technical solution with them to make that final prototype, the fund was utilized. We had other, investors and, brand supporters as well. But this co-design aspect helped us a lot to understand uh, how communities are really perceiving our solution. What are the insights they have at this moment? What are the additional features that they want in our product? And how we can make the product a better fit for the community. It's completely different thing that the products or technologies work fine in the labs when we take out them in the field and apply them in real life challenge, like real life conditions. Uh, a lot of challenges might surface, and those challenges not technical. Those challenges technically the product may work fine, but there might be other societal aspects, other operational challenges of like that can be very unique for specific regions, for specific communities. And these kind of challenges can only be figured out when you go out in the field, when you test out your products, like with being close to the community, when they are open to you about their feedback. Only then you will understand like what are the changes, what are the challenges you would face when you go all in the market. So my suggestion to the new days of innovators who are trying to make an impact out, like my suggestion would be to connect to your users, engage the community as much as you can with your solution, build that trust so that the early adopters and your direct users have that trust in you that you are out there to make an impact for them and you are valuing their input and build that trust within them that you are uh, doing that not for them only but with them as well, so that they have that enthusiasm, have that inspiration to come to you to tell you that this is something that you have brought to us, but we think that these changes you can bring in your product. Or they might come to you and even ask for features that are not like still in there. And it happened to us. There are users that came to us and shared their like visions with us, like what are the features that they want in your product, and those features were not there. And I think their feedback helped us a lot in making those changes that made our product unique, and that helped us to scale up frugally and uh, get the tractions that we needed in the field. Building the trust and engaging them with our design process was one of the I think best decisions that we had taken in our early days. And I greatly encourage all the innovators to do that. you know Go out in the field, pilot in a small scale, and engage the community, engage the users with the design process, and take their feedback, and then scale up.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Thank you so much. Yeah, like we always want to like pass this kind of messages from the ground level. And as you are working on the ground and implementing those activities, so and also like working for the inclusion in the communities, so it's like very much practical from your side of the experience, and that that the young people can use for. Us. Hi, Diksho.
Hi.
Okay, you're back. Okay, so now I'll be just want to hear from you that what is your like reflection on like how we can work more inclusively on the cross-border level? Like how do the cross-border youth collaboration, for example, it can be between Bangladesh and Nepal, and it can be among the South Asian region or LDC countries. It can like strengthen the local adaptation efforts, and how we can like work more onto the peer-to-peer learning. What's your opinion on that?
Well, thank you again for the question. I think when we talk about the climate action and the momentum, and for South Asian countries, I think it's growing, but it's segregated. I have felt that compared to the other regions, we have growing climate momentum in Nepal, growing climate momentum in Bangladesh, also in India, and similarly other countries. But when it comes to joint action or collaborative action, I have felt very less, although we have, but that's where it needs to change, I think. And that is possible because we have like similar cultures, somehow similar cultures, also saw similar climate issues, like floods, also heat waves, and also impacts on the agricultural side. So I think that's where we can actually connect and build a momentum. And as I also started from the campaigning, so I would say campaigning will be the best way to build the momentum across all South Asian countries. Uh, uh, because that we can, if we build a campaign that we can take at the global levels, that will actually highlight us or highlight our issues more, and that is more the eyes will be on us. And campaigning is the first would be that. And we also can, because this is like the digital age, so we can also do this through starting a campaign digitally or social media campaigns or through such. And we are also planning to do these kinds of campaigns, and we have already initiated to work with some few people from across like South Asia. And so yeah, I think campaigning would be the first approach, I think.
Thank you so
Over
much,
to you,
Diksha.
Sumaya.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, like for the cross-boundary reflection, I also have like same view like you. I think in some cases, I feel that the collaborative approaches that normally, like we have a university's collaboration from the LDC countries, but we have also a partner from Nepal. It's Pokhara University. But the thing is, where it comes to this kind of like consortium that is focused on the LDCs, not on the South Asian region, but I think it's high time that we think some collaboration among the young people from the South Asian region, because as we share the like similar geographical condition and we have like so many transboundary issues, specifically on the Himalayan ground, and like all of our flash floods and stuff like that, those are kind of like related to that. So I think it's like high time that we also collaborate in the South Asian region. Sometimes it creates some issues because like we don't share some economical growth status on the similar base, but we need to like remember about our geographical location as well as population as well as like cultural and societal issues. So yeah, I think that would be a like great strength for this, because like as on the population ground, we are having the most percentage on the youth population in all over the world. So yeah, I think finger crossed on that. Maybe we can do something good for this South Asian region. So yes, thank you so much, Diksha, again. So now I'll be back again to Preeti. Preeti, can you hear us?
Yes, Shudhapu.
Okay, so now like as we have like learned from you about your indigenous like knowledge, and as well as how are you practicing those in the ground level in your community. So like in from the perspective of capacity building and grant system, like what capacity gaps or support needs did you realize during your fellowship that feature the CAPRES initiative, and also how like that can be addressed more systematically. It's not only for like our grant system, it's for all of the grant system that can like make any youth innovation fruitful on the ground. So over to you.
Okay, thank you. So one thing I have like realized that while we learn a lot about climate issues and documentation, we also need more practical skill on things like project management, fundraising, and building partnership. Because of many us like indigenous youth, we have the passion, and we have also right now we have open floor to know more about climate thing and like collect knowledge about it, but we don't always have the tools to build larger and sustainable projects, and also mental health support. Being an indigenous woman, I have already faced like bullying thing when I come in the mainstream, or when I like meet so many peoples. So I think mental support is like we should work while working on climate change and culture. It can be very heavy and emotionally think it would help if future programs had some session on self-care or healing practice, like especially for indigenous fellows who are living in the like impacts personally. So should happen.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, we also like think like that. Yeah, we think that we are giving like support, but there are some of the like community based as well as like where we need actually to address the local adaptation, because we want to like capacitate and we want to learn from the communities because they are the leaders and things should be led by them. And that's where like we are also like kind of like respect all of the things that are shared by the communities. It's not only for the indigenous community. Sometimes what happens is people who are based in cities or who are based in capital, they are not always like known about or familiar with the problems and issues that are facing by the communities. So in some cases, whenever we do the ethnographic graphic research, but there will be some gaps because we are not the inhabitants of those places. So it would be like wise for taking any initiative, like how they would take this initiative in their ground, how they are like finding it as familiar thing. So we need to specifically focus on that thing also. So in this ground, I'll be again back to Hafiz sir, because like I want to like listen that what's your like take on the whole conversation with our young leaders from Bangladesh and Nepal, and like how do you want to like manifest some good things in the future? Or we always say that young people are not the future, young people are the present. So how are we manifesting the present and future, sir? If you can reflect and you can share from your thought as a mentor and as a like teacher of an university. Hafiz sir, are you?
Thank you, Sumaya. Thanks a lot. And I was enjoying your discussions. And also, I was so amazed to hear all of you, especially one person from a very indigenous Preeti, that she was talking very emotionally, that touches the heart of every people, I am sure. Another one, a very young Diksha Boral, I am not sure whether I am telling the good pronunciation or not. And Mubashir is here, also very young person. So, of course, you can see the result here. Preeti and Mubashir, they are here and they are doing very good. Mubashir went to the community and we can see the result from there. So, I am seeing a very good future of these young people, especially in the local adaptation. And the young people can do many things, especially we can see from the 5th of August, what can they do? What the very experienced people couldn't do, they did it. They did it with a very efficient way. And that's why this is just an example. I am not going to the politics or other things, just telling the youth power that they can do many things. So the university, I will come again to the university and then I will tell the complete picture in a nutshell. So you can see I am just leading the CAPRES projects that's today. And one of the goal of this CAPRES project is the youth development. And I can give you some of the examples and then I will come to the summary of this, uh, conference or workshop this. So we had some money for the youth development, especially some grants for the locally problem solve that comes from the youth, some for the research in the university, and that should be also very much related to climate change and local adaptation. And we have developed so many young people, at least 15 people from my university, independent university. They got a scholarship and they did very good things. From the 15, 5 of them are now entrepreneur. They are doing very good in their sectors. They didn't go for the, jobs only. Now they can provide jobs. So this is a very good initiative that the a small amount of money that you invest for the young people, they will give you more for the community. So not only, locally led adaptation, but also you are making them very efficient and productive who can help directly for their community. Then the thing you can see that the policy inclusion from the CAPRES project, again, if I give the example, we we have at least we have from the last 3 years, we have made some people efficient who can go to the COP, who can participate in different platforms, and they can raise their voice for the policy, for themselves, for their community. And as I told before also, they are a bit fearless. The experienced people, they always think that if I tell these things, maybe someone will be very angry, I will not get that position, so on, so on. But the young people, they think about the community in a very neutral way. Then if you see the national narratives shift, that means people always thinks, okay, the young people means they will be the future leaders. No, they can be leader from now. So you people like Mobashare, you are doing a very good thing, and I hope you will continue your work. Diksha, of course, she is thinking now not only Nepal. See, her dream, she is thinking about the South Asia, and hopefully in the near future, she will think about the global aspects. So there is no boundary of this thinking and scientific things. Your locally led adaptation, what you are taking locally, can be global in the future. Suppose we have we have flood, the catastrophe every year it happens. But now you can see in Europe, every 1, 2, or 3 years interval, the flood is happening there. And they are coming to us also to learn about the how we can survive from the flood, how we can do the disaster management, so on. So locally led adaptation, of course, this happens, this uh, begins from the locally, but it can go to the globally. Suppose Preeti, she is telling very emotionally about her own indigenous peoples. Yes, that's very good, but that knowledge can be transferred to another place. So knowledge is like something energy. Energy cannot be destroyed or created. The knowledge is also like that. The knowledge you can easily transform from one form to another form. So you people who are learning now, this is very important. And your power, if you and your energy, you can be very efficient for the next 10 years or next 15 years. So I am happy, and especially I am thankful to Sumaya that her questions and moderation was so effective and so nice that everything she could easily transfer to the audience, to our audience, those who are, I am really thankful to them also. Probably they are listening to us also in an efficient way. So thanks again. I'm sure that this inspiration, or if I can If we can give them some message, they will be inspired and they will do something better for us in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. As we didn't get any specific question from the audience, so I would request all of our panelists to have some of the last words for our audience. We can start from Mubashir bhai.
So do you want me to answer to the question to the audiences that they have left in the chat, or shall I share some?
Just the last words from your side. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank ICCCAD for uh, you know building a platform for youth-led innovations, and also want to tell the audience that
Sorry, Mubashir bhai. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, we got a very relevant question for you, I guess. So yeah, we can go ahead with the question on that regard. So Rahanus Zaman, who is also a fellow from 2025 from ICCCAD Fellowship, he had the question that from my recent observation, most of the grants and funds are KPI focused instead of focusing on the real life impact of the projects. How this culture can be changed? So yeah,
yeah.
if you can
So
reply.
that's an interesting question. So from my perspective, I mean, yeah, I understand that several projects, donation grants have their own KPIs, have their own, kind of targets that these grants want to achieve, and that's very normal. I mean, grants are coming from someone; they might have some priorities, and they might have some targets. What we need to do really is to understand that how those KPIs are relevant to our audience, to our communities. Uh, Projects should be designed according to the need of the communities, uh, not the need of the donors. That I want to shout out loud. Yeah. And when the projects are designed and when we understand that what we actually need to do in the community, we might go out for building grant systems, building donor pools that align with those needs of the communities, and then we do the matchmaking, not the other way around. That's my number one suggestion. And second is that you know when we started, we really found several great organizations who were coming up with KPIs uh, that align with our mission and that align with our vision. Uh, yeah, we had to go out and we had to find out, investors or grant donors who, believe in our mission and have that synergy with us. We did not customize our projects or our products according to the need of the grants, but we search for grants who have alignment with our projects. Tetra is a for profit. We are not on profit. We are startup, and we are there to make impact, but as well as we have to make profit to remain sustainable. So yeah, we had to design products that would bring us money, that would be reinvested in the project to scale that up. But early days, when we were not market ready, or when we didn't have traction, I did not have that capacity to go out to the real investors and to tell them that invest in us and we'll scale, we can scale that up. So in that phase, we had to seek innovation plans and to seek out partners who will have that faith in a project that has not yet brought traction, but can make real life impact if trusted. And yes, we had to go out to different people, different organizations, and present our project. And we found several suggestions that we have, like how we can tweak our project, or how we tweak our product, or how we can uh, deviate from our current path to attract more grants or more investment. Uh, Petra remained true to its mission. We welcome suggestions. We welcome their feedback. But we remain true to our mission that we want to create impact in people's lives. We want to ensure safe water access for every one of them. And we want to start with the people who need it the most. They're the climate vulnerable communities in a region and households. They're earning less than 2,080 per month, and they're were from mostly low income or low income backgrounds. We had that, I think, uh, warnings from like several organizations, warnings from several investors that this might be a dangerous thing to start with because uh, this kind of projects might fail, this kind of projects might not work out. How we might need to focus more on communities who can pay up so that in our early days we can scale up more. But yeah, we welcome the suggestions, but we remain true to our mission and we seek out partners who have that synergy with us. So that would be my, advocacy to the practitioners out there to present what the community needs and then do the matchmaking judgments. I know like good organization actually do the same at this moment. And yes, there have been practices to, customized projects or like making projects to only please the donors. There are practices like that, but yeah, a lot of good organizations are doing the opposite, like going over the community, talking to them, trying to find out what they need, and then making projects and then finding out donors. So I think this should be the form.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I will echo with Mubashir Bhai that yes, we always like do like that like looking for some like-minded donors and funders and maybe peers in some cases. And also that can be a good practice on the local-led adaptation ground, because if you are practicing the LLA principles, then on the principle 2, you will be getting the inclusion of like communities, including the youth, gender, and like person with disability, and context of all of the gender inclusion, and also on the decision making ground too. So if you can like make your donor understand regarding the LLA principles, then it would be much more easier, because you have that kind of like baseline where the communities will be speaking for themselves and community will be speaking for yourselves also, because what you are looking for, you are working on for the community, on the community. So what communities are suggesting, that can be like taken from the ground of local adaptation principle, if you can like make them understand. And also in some cases, I'll also like again echo with Mubashir that yes, you have to like make them understand, but also you need to have something in your hand to showcase, because otherwise it would be like challenging for you to make them understand and convince them. So yeah, that's from my end. So now we'll be listening to the last word from Diksho and then Preeti. Diksho.
Yes, I would really like to thank ICCCAD for inviting me in this session, and also to Rakib, who is always reaching out to me with opportunities. And it was really great to hear from all the fellow panelists and also to Sumaya. So I'm really inspired from each one of you. Also, like how academics is really important along with activism and advocacy. And since I'm on a gap year this year, I already want to start my master's as soon as possible. So it was really nice, and everyone is doing their so best working with the communities and like promoting the indigenous knowledge, and like it was really great time talking here, is sharing my experiences. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. And now we'll be going to Preeti, and then we'll be taking a group photo. So Preeti, first you.
Okay, this fellowship and this program really gave me a platform to connect thoughts between the climate issues and cultural preservation. So I would like to thanks everyone. And so I would like to say one more thing, that before I came into this fellowship, I kind of saw them as a two separate things. Environment here and culture is there. But this program has helped me realize that they are really connected and they are completely linked. And when the environment is damaged, I think that our traditions are also at risk too, and our rituals. Through this fellowship, I also got a better documenting this connections, like connection through storytelling and other visual media. So which I'm now trying to support, or I'm trying to use them. And it gave me like skills and confidence to take actions. And I want to thanks everyone for listening to me. Thank you so much, Shudhapu.
Thank you so much, all, and thank you for joining us in the panel, all of our audience. Now, I would request all of you to just open up the camera and so that we can have a group photo. Yes, yeah. So, yeah, sir, we can like see you, but your camera is not in a good condition, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I didn't open it earlier.
It's fine. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Again, 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. And it was like really nice to talk to all of you. I always like get inspiration from all of you. And yeah, thank you so much. And thank you all for joining. Yeah, Mubashir bhai, you had a like very long message. Do you want to like come into verbal way? You can. We have time if you want to. You are muted.
Sure. Just want to end it with the note that my hope for the Caprese and these platforms is that like this will build a strong legacy, a strong ecosystem. Where youth innovations are exceptions to the norm, and where young are trusted with agency and platform and legitimacy, where young people are recognized as critical agents, and they're there to build broader adaptation strategies at national and global levels.
Thank you so much. Yeah, like thank you so much for your good words, and we are hoping to like continue it on that regard. Thank you so much. See you on our next session, or maybe in person in somewhere in the world. Thank you so much.
everyone.
Thank you.
So see you all.
Thank
Best wishes.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, Team B.